When we are just content with where we are right now, God will elevate you and give you more because you qualify for it, because you're happy with the state that you're in right now. And the very opposite of that is true as well. Don't be content with where you are. You will never progress. And that's the blessing. Let me show you some curses. I'm going to take you over to, I'm going to show you some consequences. These are eternal consequences. You cannot break this rule. I cannot break it. I'm going to read them to you. When we start complaining, you know what God will do? That's why I married that lady. See how smart she is? Listen, what we don't realize is we have nothing to complain about. Nothing. Nothing. God will show us that every once in a while. You be complaining about something, and God will providentially allow you to run up on somebody who has no arms, no legs, can't see, can't hear. First thing you say is, my God, let me shut my mouth. Let me shut up. Because my wife is right. When we start complaining, God is okay. You know what I'm going to do for you? I'm going to do this just for you. I'm going to give you something to complain about. You can write these down. We give free CDs, so I'm going to give you a few scenarios. In Numbers, Israel complained about their current circumstances. They've been in slavery for 400 years. Yes. They have come out with silver and gold that the Egyptians gave them. Say, take this and get out of here before y'all kill all of us. Get out of here. But Pharaoh, I thought you said you weren't going to let them go. Pharaoh kicked them out of there. Once God got through with him, God said, you're going to let them go. You're going to beg for them to leave. When I finish with you, they come out with silver and gold. They start complaining about a little bit of water and stuff. Now, when the people complained, it displeased the Lord. I'm reading at Numbers chapter 11, verse 1. Now, when the people complained, it displeased the Lord. Why? Because he had just blessed them. He had just freed them and given them riches. They didn't leave poor, church. These people were rich. That's what people, I don't know if they teach it right, but the children of Israel were rich. What do you think we get reparations not from? This is where we get it from. For the Lord heard it. They complained, and the Bible says the Lord heard it, and his anger was aroused. So the fire of the Lord, I want to say that again, not devil's fire, the fire of the Lord burned among them and consumed some in the outskirts of the camp, meaning that they were burned alive. They were barbecued as a sign of what's to come to us who keep complaining. Where we going? Hell, if we keep complaining. That's what he's talking. This was a sign of things to come, a small sign. So watch this. They complained again. 3 verses later. Now that might have been 5 years. I don't know. Now the mixed multitude who were among them yielded to intense cravings. So the children of Israel also wept again and said, who will give us meat to eat? Some of them just got burned up for complaining. And the rest of them hadn't learned yet. Don't we forget real quick sometimes? God said, you know what? Okay, they need another reminder. But God is so smooth. God will cut you to the quick. Like some women, some women, y'all got to give it to y'all, but y'all something else. A woman will cut you, you don't even know you cut. Women are so smart, they'll have you thinking it was your idea and it was theirs the whole time. They get it from God. God said, okay, you know what? You want quail? You want meat? He says he blew a wind from the ocean into the camp and they had quail. They happy just running around getting quail. God said they still hadn't learned. The Bible's, I'll read it to you. I'll read it to you. Let me find it. Now a wind went out from the Lord, and it brought quail from the sea, and left them fluttering near the camp, about a day's journey on the side, and about a day's journey on the other side, all around the camp, and about 2 cubits above the surface of the ground. And the people stayed up all day and all night the next day, gathering the quail. He who gathered least gathered 10 homers, and they spread them out for themselves. But, somebody said, but. Now, this is not funny. But while the meat was still in their teeth, before it was chewed, the wrath of the Lord aroused against the people, and the Lord struck the people with a very great plague. Why? For complaining. Oh, we don't like this manna stuff. We don't like that. Is it filling you up, though? Are you starving to death? See what he's trying to do? He's trying to train an army. He was trying to make them tough, but they kept complaining. So he answered their prayer. They wanted, you want meat, I'll give you meat. You have to be careful what you ask for, right? Yes. Sometimes you might what? I'm going to give you one more. Numbers 21. Numbers 21 is a good chapter for you to look at. It'll show you different scenarios of what happened when we complain. One of the first things they complained about was Moses marrying a black woman. Aaron and Miriam complained about that. And Miriam said, God talks to us too. He don't just talk to you. Ever heard somebody say that? God talked to me too. He does. God started talking to Miriam, but guess what? She didn't like what he had to say. Oh, you hear from me? Okay. Miriam, Moses, and Aaron, come here. Called them out. He said, okay, now, Miriam and Aaron, come forward. And then he told him, he said, let me tell you something. With a prophet, I'll speak to a prophet in a vision or a dream. She knows what I'm saying. She's quoting it. But with Moses, my servant, I speak to him face to face. That's what he said. In other words, he was showing them, look, I don't talk to Moses like I talk to you. Yeah, I talk to you, but I speak to you in a dark vision. But I speak to him plain, face to face. So since you complain, I'm talking to you now. Do you like what I'm saying? I know you don't. So here's some leprosy for a while. And guess who she had to rely on to get healed? Guess who she had to rely on to get healed? The one she complained on, Moses. Just like Job. Those three guys talking about Job. At the end of the book, God says, now you better pray to my servant Job, or I'm going to deal with you worse. So does God like complaining? Will he give you something to complain if you want to complain? That's right. And so, church, the remedy for the complaint is a spirit of what? It's a spirit. Right. And it's called, that's right, it's called ingratitude. The demon is called ingratitude or ungratefulness. That's a demon because what his job is to never let you be content with the God that created you, with the provisions that he provided for you. That's his job. He knows, that demon knows that if you complain against God, God will punish you. He'll take away what you got already. And so what contentment does, it's so powerful, it's so virtuous because it slays the dragon of ingratitude. If Lucifer had just had a little spirit of contentment in him, like Michael did, Michael was content, wasn't he? Gabriel was content, right? Because they didn't rebel. If Lucifer had just a little spirit of contentment in him, he would not have gotten dethroned. And what happens to us a lot of times, unfortunately, when I say us, I mean human beings now, we allow keeping up with the Joneses. Oh, and I used to see that when I was growing up, because I'm going to tell you something. I didn't grow up in a God-fearing house. I love my parents. They did the best they could with what they had. But guess what? If I don't want to call the family name, but if they got a Cadillac, it's going to be not too long before we get a new one too. These people, I'm like, boy, y'all keeping Claude Nolan in some serious business. And then we get one, somebody else going to get one. And they love it. They love it down there because you coming in there every other year getting a new Cadillac because you're not content with the one you already got. Nothing wrong with these cars. You're just trading them in, keeping up with the Joneses. And so that permeates into the church too.